This is my PK Ranger, and today we're going to be working out whether it's any good or not, and if you're looking for one, should buy one. Now, I know this was a good vehicle, that's why I bought it, but I'm going to tell you what you need to look out for when you buy your own vehicle. This 2009 model, 118,000 kilometers on the clock, and it's mine. Today we're going to be reviewing it, and not just it. Should you buy a PK Ranger at all? I know I did. I think I made the right choice. So what should you look out for when you buy your own PK Ranger? Just like I did when I bought this.
You see, unlike many modern vehicles that pretend to be off-roaders whilst really being nothing more than oversized shopping trolleys with Spotify, the PK Ranger was built with a singular purpose: to do a job. And it does that job rather well. The interior is simple, but in the best possible way. Everything is exactly where it should be. The buttons are big enough to use with gloves on, the air conditioning works, and the seats, whilst not luxurious, are supportive enough for a full day of actual work. Not TikTok videos, not oat milk runs, work. Under the bonnet is Ford's 3-litre Duratec turbo diesel. It produces 154 horsepower and 380 newton meters of torque, which is not terribly exciting, but it's dependable.
This is one of the, I've driven a few utes that are about this old, the 10 to 15 sort of year mark, and this has been one of my favourite ones to drive. It is a lot lower geared than, say, something like a Triton, but I almost like that. The Triton almost seems too high geared. Inside it's it's like sitting in a Tupperware container. Hard plastics absolutely everywhere. But that's fine, it's a rugged ute. It's got a stereo that thinks Bluetooth is a dental condition, and an air conditioning unit that probably works. Not that I've had to use it yet, because it's been an average of 14 degrees. The heater does work though, which is, good. But do you care about the hard plastics and the lack of entertainment? No. A, because I'm a learner driver and I can't use any of it anyway. But B, because it isn't a lifestyle accessory. It's a tool, like a hammer or a chainsaw. It's not supposed to be nice and luxurious. Imagine if your chainsaw had Bluetooth stereo. It's supposed to work, and it's supposed to be functional. It's supposed to be hard wearing, which this is. This interior looks brand new. Now let's check out the exterior. Oh, and the beep. I hate that beep. It's like a warning beep to tell you that the engine's off and the door is open, in case you didn't know. There's no way to stop it either, as far as I can tell. There's no button to push. The only button there is to push is for the rear diff lock. Now let's have a quick overview first. Now, starting up the front of the car, it's got a big sort of semi-aggressive looking Ford bull bar. It's got fog lights down the bottom because it's the XLT. It falls somewhere between the XL and the Wild Track. It actually falls right in the middle because there was no other models in 2009. At the front, you got nice front grille with the headlights. That's when it sort of hasn't got a bull bar on it, makes it look like it's almost smiling. Nice bit of blackness there. Ford logo up the front. No sensors, cameras, or anything like that. Coming around the side, you've got these sort of black flares that come off the bull bar into the big flared side arches that make it look a bit aggressive. Got some nice mud flaps down here and some wheels and tyres. Now, wheels and tyres, I think they look pretty good. I think they look very nice. I'd say they are 16-inch wheels. At the top here, you got a nice indicator, somewhat similar to the ones you see on the Rangers of today, with Ranger sort of written across there on the writing. Moving towards the back of the car, you've got, again, big wide flare with the fuel filler there. You've got these clip points for a tarp or tonneau cover. I don't quite know why they're so low down, but anyway. Another wheel, exactly the same as the wheel on the front. Another nice big mudguard. Looks like they're aftermarket though. I don't think they're the original ones. 4x4 sticker here with a nice sort of unique white sort of tail light at the back there. Now, this ute evidently does have a canopy. Canopy is ARB, it's not Ford, but yeah, it's very good. It fits the vehicle well. Nice tinted glass, I'm very happy with it. Now, one thing to note is along the side here on an XLT, there would normally be side steps, but I'm going to guess that the previous owner must have damaged them one of them, and they just removed both of them. Just, you know, sort of as he got older, he sort of starts running into stuff a little bit. You can see actually on the bull bar, there's a few little, you know, scratches and love marks where he's hit, you know, just things, small things, only minor cosmetic damage. Around the back, it's slightly hard to tell because you're in the shade, but you got the big Ford badge, big solid Ford badge, almost as big as the ones they put on now, with a nice chrome handle. You got this sort of Ranger plastic in the middle there, sort of starting to come off on the sides here. If you know how to re-stick that down, do let me know in the comments, because I'm sort of thinking Sikaflex. XLT badge here with the TDCI badge, like a lot of these cars were. Now the back is missing also the sort of plasticky step thing that would have been there. Again, I reckon he's probably backed into something and they just removed it. I don't think it looks bad without it, and you know, that is solid. That is not going anywhere. Anyway, under the canopy, there is a bed liner that looks like it's never had anything touch it before other than this mat. It's literally looks like brand bloody new there. And he's also added a little power outlet there, little 12-volt one. Not factory, but the bed liner is factory, which is good. And unlike utes of today, it does come with the bed liner does go around it, so when you're sliding in wood or whatever, you don't scratch the paintwork like most of the new utes do now. Brake light in the canopy there, and you got a tow bolt down here. On the inside, starting with the key, you've got a key there with a little Ford logo on it, and over here you've got unlock and lock, which is all you really need on a key. On the inside, it's, you know, pretty standard for a ute of this time period. Lots of sort of plasticky, silvery chrome. It's got a radio with a 6-speaker sound system. It's got AM, it's got FM, it's got CD, and a 6-stacker CD player. Coming down to heating and controls, you've got recirc and fresh air. You've got speeds 1 to 4. You've got air conditioning, hot or cold. Do have cruise control, that's very nice. You're wondering where the handbrake is? That is one of your pull and turn. Why did I push the clutch in for that? It's one of your pull and turn ones, makes a nice crisp noise. Got a little storage spot up here, sun visor, no mirror because you need to be looking ahead whilst driving, not at yourself. Got a little, if you want to put a map or piece of paper up there, you can. Passenger, however, doesn't have to look at the road, so they have a lovely little mirror to check themselves out. There is a rear view mirror, however, very nice. Canopy does give you a very clear view out the back there, and so the mirror is superb views out the back. It's also got a clock. It's got a clock. That's about it, really, for infotainment. Practicality is really good, though. Lots of storage in the door. Down here, you got a cup holder, which will fit, you know, 600ml water bottle, maybe a bit more storage in the door. You got a nice big area down here, which, you know, is very nice. Power outlets down there. In the center console, you've got 2 levels, one at the top for a receipt and one in the bottom for a pen. Fairly decent size. You've got a cup holder down here and a storage bar for an OT bar if you're hungry, or other little things, and a couple of cup holders up the front. Behind the center console, there's a couple more cup holders. Glove box, which is a decent size actually, and you've also got a little pull-out tray for your learner logbook, for instance. And in the middle, there is the gear stick with the 5-speed manual, very nice to drive, and you've also got a four-wheel drive select knob here with a low-range transfer case. The steering wheel goes up and down. Goes up and doon. You know, it's comfortable enough. It does the job. It's comfy enough. This maybe could be, you know, slightly padded and maybe a little bit higher, but, you know, I'm 6'4". A longer trip does make your left leg feel a little bit uncomfortable sitting like a bent corkscrew for, you know, a while. The seat doesn't quite accommodate for, you know, tall passengers. Back seat's not for anyone tall. Actually, I don't even know if I couldn't shut the door as my knee would penetrate through it. I'd have to sit like this, I suppose, and that's not very comfortable. But for someone who's a bit shorter than 6'4", I'm sure, you know, you could suffice if the front passenger moved their seat forwards. My brother does that every day to school and he's fine with it, but I wouldn't suggest it for long trips. These windows also open, let a bit of airflow through. There are a couple of speakers back here in the doors, and the seat belts are retractable. A bit of padding in the back, but the seats also lift up if you don't want to use them as seats, which is what you can tell your friends if they ask about coming with you and you don't particularly like them. Unless you've watched this video, in which case you'll know there's 4 seats anyway, so yeah, maybe that won't work.
So, what's the Ranger like to drive?
Doesn't feel super big on the road like some of the newer utes do, but it doesn't feel small either. It does have plenty of grunt to, you know, to get up hills as well. The gears feel nice to change, it's all smooth. There's no rattle, the gears are quite close together as well. This car only has done 118,000 kilometres on it in its 16 years of life, and it's been, as far as I can tell, pretty well looked after. It's not like the Triton is at the moment. It doesn't make noises in the radio where something's come loose.
It's not rattling.
Nah, that is one good thing about this. It is a bit bouncier than some newer utes, but it's not bad, especially it's designed to have a load in it, which it currently doesn't. And it looks like it never really has, judging by the condition of the tray. Just swing back around here. Turning circle on this isn't great. You need about 3 city blocks. I can't see them. The reverse gear does feel quite highly geared. So are they here? Oh, okay. Oh, didn't need to turn the car off there.
Yeah, did not. You stalled it.
I was too focused talking about how reverse was probably too high geared. At what stage in reversing do you need to be doing above 20 kilometres an hour? Good visibility all the way around, and you definitely know, you're definitely feeling connected to the car, as it's, you know, quite noisy, but I like that. You can hear what the engine's doing. Another good thing about this, nothing about this car is automatic, apart from the indicator self-cancelling. Gearbox is manual, the air conditioning's manual, there's no automatic headlights, it's just you and the car. Minimal distractions, it tells you what you need to know, and that's about it. But my final thoughts on this are that this is a bloody good car, and the only things that really do go wrong with the car are if you're towing and you're towing quite a big trailer or something up a hill. These do overheat. You do sort of have to watch the temperature on them. That does lead to quite a few head gaskets blowing, especially on the 3 litre ones. The 2.5s don't quite have the same power, so I'll check with you what the capacities and towing things are on that. But driving along in my car, it's good.
In summary, the 2009 Ford Ranger isn't fast, it isn't luxurious, and it isn't particularly clever. But it's durable, it's honest, it's hard-working, it's practical. It's the vehicular equivalent of a Stanley Thermos. It'll never win a beauty contest, but it'll still be working long after everything else has broken down. And frankly, in today's world of overcomplicated, overly polished nonsense, that makes it rather brilliant.
So, what goes wrong with a PK Ranger? Well, I have a list right here. So, first of all, something that can happen fairly early on in kilometres is clutch failure, which is just, premature wear of the clutch, and can happen, when you're towing or off-roading. But this hasn't had any of that, so this one's fine. So you don't really want to be buying a PK Ranger that has been towing, unless it's already had the head gasket replaced. Sometimes you can also get gearbox problems, so you get difficulty from shifting from first to second. Again, this doesn't have that, and it comes from the towing and that sort of thing. Again, these ranges, you know, I see a lot of them towing, but they're probably not the best vehicle for towing. So some signs of that: difficulty when shifting in from first to second. And yeah, the synchro wears in the gears like all vehicles after high mileage, which again this hasn't got. So just make sure you're looking out. The mileage can tell you a lot about these things, but also if they're maintained properly and treated well, mileage doesn't really matter. As in if they've been looked after like this for their whole lives and not run hard. Like the inside of this down here has not been cleaned, and it is looking brand new down there. Sometimes the turbocharger can fail, so if the turbo gets starved of oil, it can cause it to fail. You can know this by the loss of power, whistling noises, or excessive smoke. And there's also... You right there, Chook? From towing, there's also cooling issues. So one really major thing is to keep this engine cool whilst towing, and probably don't use fifth gear if you're towing. As it's more of an overdrive gear sort of thing. So yeah, just use your gears and change sensibly if you're towing with these. And yeah, make sure you're keeping the engine nice and cool, because when this cooling system fails, then you blow a head gasket. Now on these older utes, another thing that can fail a lot of the time is the power windows. You know, they're easy enough to fix. And yeah, sometimes like with the central locking might play up a bit, might not work as well as it used to or could do, but that's not a major drama either. You can get that fixed pretty well. When you are looking at getting and buying one of these engines, when you're looking around under the bonnet, just make sure everything's neat and tidy. There's no oil anywhere. The belts are in good condition. No signs of wear on those. This had the belts replaced at 91,000 kilometres. You know, a good sign of how, you know, hard an engine has been worked is how dirty it gets in under here, especially in what sort of conditions it's been driven in. Look at this. This is all sort of, you know, really nice and clean and neat. None of the carpet's been wearing or burning under here, because this can get quite hot when the engine's hot. Yeah. It's just doing a general inspection, making sure the battery is all good and no signs of coolant anywhere. And what's really important is getting underneath the car. Under the car you'll find a cat. What you doing, Bus? That's man Pop's cat. Underneath the car you want to be checking for signs of oil leaks, oil anywhere that it shouldn't be, especially oil around the sump plug. Make sure everything is going where it's meant to go. Make sure there's no signs of any sort of exhaust damage, anything like that. Nothing's, you know, the fuel tank, the diff's not leaking, nothing like that. And obviously there's only so much you can really do when looking at a car, but it's really important. Another sign of a vehicle's, what sort of condition the vehicle's in, is have a look down in the doors and see if there's how much dust and crap's down in the doors and around the doors, and make sure you check the door seals as well. Make sure there's no damage to them, because that can lead to quite major and expensive problems to fix. Like there's a little bit of dust up the top here, but nothing too bad. At the back, when I was looking at the suspension and stuff, all this plastic was black and shiny. There was no mud built up in here at all. That's all been in the last week, because I was driving through a little bit of mud. Underneath the rear of the car, you want to make sure the leaf springs are bent the right way, because I've seen a fair few utes where the leaf springs are absolutely buggered. Just make sure the park brake mechanisms are all working. Looks like it's all complete, and there's nothing coming out of the brakes. When you're getting under a vehicle, you can also sort of tell how much time it's spent on gravel roads and off-road. Like, it's not hard to tell, so it's always just about getting in all the nooks and crannies and really having a look, making sure there's no rust if the tub's got a tub liner in it, making sure there's no rust in the metal under the actual tray. Another good sign of whether, you know, if the vehicle's been kept outside or not is looking at the bonnet. No paint peeling. There's a little bit of sort of whiteness coming up there, but that's no worry really. There's no rust holes in the roof anywhere. This is all just sort of dust. There's nothing, yeah, there's just a few more little white things there, but nothing major, nothing to worry about. Another Captain Obvious statement is check the bloody oil level and the coolant and, you know, all the fluids. Just check it. Make sure there's A, some in it, and B, enough of it in it. And make sure, you know, the coolant's not too dirty and oil's looking okay. And just also have a look down in the radiator, make sure there's no sticks or leaves or anything sort of built up down in under there. That can give you another indication of how much it's been driven and how sort of looked after it has been. Now the old bloke who had this, he was sort of, you know, buying off old people a lot of the time can be, you know, it's a really good sign for a car, especially if it looks well looked after. But I think this old bloke was sort of going from the stage where he's really caring for his car to sort of not being able to as much, and sort of just little things, you know, with the scratching on the bull bar, which is not bad at all. I'll show you that. You know, it's just sort of that stage where he can't really look after the car. He can't wash it every day or maintain it as well as he once could. But yeah, I'm lucky, and he sold this just before he got to, you know, that stage. You know, it's just got a little minor scratch here, sort of minor little sort of denty thing there, but once again, it's all good. And this sort of fog light, it's just got a little crack there where the plastic anyway, not the actual light, just where it might have hit a wallaby or something. So other than that, you should, if you follow all those sort of things, and get someone who, you know, if you don't know a lot about cars, take someone with you who does know a bit about cars to have a look with you when you go looking at one of these, just to make sure it's as good as what the photos likely would have made you believe. Because I know a lot of people who've said, yes, this is the best thing ever, it's been looked after really well, they get there and it's just an absolute piece of crap. But thank you very much for watching, and hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you end up buying a good vehicle. Like and subscribe, it really helps out. Thank you for watching, and make sure you go and watch the rest of my car reviews.